Hello and welcome to our video. I am a program advisor for talent search at UHD, and today we'll be talking about financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? Right here I have two definitions. One is literacy, having an expansive knowledge in a certain subject, and finance, the management of money. So which will be really important for today's video. And then purpose, what is the purpose of this video? Well, why is it important to teach financial literacy? Well, I have here that it's the lack of information available to students, no curriculum available in schools, and then more students are going to college after high school today than in past decades, but college tuition and college debt keeps increasing as well. If students knew how to manage their money and make smart decisions about college costs, they would be able to minimize their cost of attendance, which is something that's really important. And this is the current state of financial literacy where we're at today. And that is that most high school graduates and college students are not prepared to manage their personal finances. And there's an uneven delivery and availability of personal finance education. And that is why we are making these videos. As like I said, why? The why is important. When discussing financial literacy for college students or upcoming college students, what are we talking about? So we spend a lot of time telling students how to get money to pay for college and how to begin paying off student loans. What we don't discuss are things like financial planning, creating a budget, and living within your means. So we know that financial literacy impacts graduation rates, personal debt, and loan defaults, which impacts your retention rates, which impacts students, and then as working adults, then which affects the students and the university as well. So we have here the retention and graduation rates. So we have more minority students enrolled in college, but are they staying in and graduating? And so as we can see here, the characteristics of non-completers are students taking remedial courses, students working more than 20 hours per week, students with limited financial resources, students attending school only part-time, and then students attending for-profit schools. Students leave college due to the stress of attending college and working at the same time because it could be too much. And then the need to work remains top reason students fail to return to college. And then financial literacy can demonstrate the relationship between graduating on time and minimizing loans and promoting future financial success. So we have here communities impacted the most. So as we can see, traditional accounts have laid some of the blame for financial literacy on lack of parental guidance and poor decision making. However, recent studies have begun to argue instead that socioeconomic and political barriers are also responsible. So how we see here, Hispanic and African communities are disproportionately impacted. Low-income populations and women tend to have lower levels of financial literacy than men. And then almost half of Americans reported having trouble keeping up with monthly expenses. Continued on communities who are impacted the most, we see here that 15% of Americans are unbanked, which means they lack a checking account. And then we have 30% of African Americans and Hispanics. 75% of young people are likely to lack the skills needed to make beneficial financial decisions. And then we have financial literacy and retention. What's the correlation between them is that correlation exists between increased financial literacy and decreased defaults. Financial difficulties can impede academic performance and completion. Even when students graduate, they often face unsustainable debt, and then recent graduates will face an uncertain job market. So without strong financial literacy skills, these students have a difficult time budgeting and paying back loans. So as we said, there's a strong correlation between financial literacy and student retention. Historically, the majority of borrowers who defaulted withdrew without completing their academic program. So borrowers who drop out of school are 4 times more likely to default on their student loans. So 16.8% of borrowers who drop out of school default on their loans compared to the only 3.7% of borrowers who actually go on to graduate. So when we're talking about financial literacy, it's important to mention subsidized and unsubsidized loans because those are really important for college students and upcoming college students as well. So what is subsidized? It is only available to undergraduates based on financial need. Interest doesn't accrue until leaving school. Government pays interest while student is enrolled. Lower loan limits. And then we have here unsubsidized, available to both undergraduates and graduates. and no financial need required. Interest accrues from the time of disbursement, which is really important to memorize and know. And then government doesn't help with interest, and it has a higher loan limit. These two things are really important when applying for financial aid, and keeping these in the back of your mind. So basically, minimizing college costs is what we talked about, and then from applying for financial aid and college scholarships to getting college credits are ways to help with minimizing that, especially during high school. Students have many ways of minimizing their tuitions. Many scholarships also cover general costs like board and textbook and transportation. So being financially literate implies thinking ahead. Students should form their habit of looking advanced when planning their college cost. So if we go on here, we'll see that we have 2 QR codes, basically where we received most of the information for these videos. And if you want to go ahead and read more, you can. And then we also have our works cited over here so that you can see where we got our information. But if you have any questions, feel free to email us at talentsearch at uhd.edu. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you.